Hello and welcome to the August 8th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the City of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news delivered to you every week. I'm your host, Jim Lopez, one of two deputy city managers here at the city, joined today by two members of our podcast team.
Kate Ryan.
And David Wolbrecht.
As well as our very special guest, Councilmember Amy Falcone.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're excited to have you.
Yes.
Yay, welcome.
We've been having a lot of fun pre-show chatting about.
Yep.
Time seems to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited to get to know you more. We're going to talk about the Meet the Council video. But before we get into all that fun stuff, here's what we're covering this week.
A few announcements including Kirkland Cadet Car Show, National Night Out recap, Houghton Beach closure, and a City Council meeting recap.
Yeah, we have more on how to volunteer with the Green Kirkland Partnership, how to win big with a blood donation.
Win big. That's intriguing.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week, we held our meet and greet with Animal Control Officer Angela Arnold. Hear about that. Also, a community challenge by our youth transit ambassadors and an upcoming road closure.
Yes, and a reminder, my friends, as always, that we have links and more information in the show notes for all of our items. So please take advantage of that really cool resource.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but first, our big story of the week. Let's save the date, everybody. The Kirkland Cadets are hosting their annual benefit car show, and this is going to be really great.
Absolutely.
And it's in September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're a car enthusiast, enter the car show. There will be 4 trophies awarded. Check that out.
Yeah, and if you just want to look at some cool cars, come by and meet fellow community members, police officials, and cadets. It's a great community event. And the car show will be September 21st. So check it out.
Yeah, put it on your calendars now. More info later.
Do you have a favorite car, Councilmember Falcone?
I drive an electric car, and
Yeah.
it can accelerate really fast.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Torque.
Yes.
Speaking of annual events, last Tuesday was another successful National Night Out. Thank you to our amazing community for showing tremendous love and appreciation for the Kirkland police officers, firefighters, crisis responders, and of course, our city council members.
Yeah, and it sounded like Tuesday was a pretty busy night. Is that right, Councilmember Falcone?
It was. There were,
Yeah.
I think, over a dozen different parties throughout the neighborhoods. I
Love
got
that.
to ride
Nice.
along with one of our
Ooh.
police officers
did
and
ya?
attend
Oh.
several of them.
Oh,
It was
awesome.
so fun. I mean,
Yeah.
just the cuteness factor. There's so many kids and dogs and families out
Right.
there having fun and
Awesome.
barbecuing, and the amount of sidewalk chalk I think our city went through.
Nice.
But it was a lot
It's
of fun.
art.
It was,
Come
yeah,
on,
it was
it's
awesome.
art.
Oh, that's awesome. And of course, National Night Out is an annual community event and where folks host block parties. And if you missed this year, be sure to fill out your request forms for next
Yeah,
year.
great,
Put it on the
great
calendar
stuff.
first Tuesday every August.
And that's why we moved the council meeting to Wednesday night.
That's right.
right.
Tuesday night
last
was
night.
National Night Out. So for a third week in a row, King County is recommending that people and pets actually stay out of the water at Houghton Beach. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer. A reminder that the rest of the Houghton Beach Park remains open. It's just recommended not to do water activities. This is because King County Public Health tested the water and still found elevated levels of bacteria.
Mm-hmm. They'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll get better results.
Yeah. Fingers crossed on that one.
Yes, indeed.
So the last meeting of the Kirkland City Council was on Wednesday, August 7th. That's last night as we record here on Thursday. And here's what happened on the business agenda. Council adjusted the boundaries and timing for the automated safety cameras in school zones. You had a lot to do with that.
We did, yeah. I was helping keep our kids safe and preparing for back to school next month.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice.
Council also received an update on the 2044 Comprehensive Plan land use element, including a briefing on the transit corridors being studied for the possibility of more housing capacity.
Council reviewed updates to the Marina Park dock and shoreline renovations, as well as approved staff to move forward on the Cross Kirkland Corridor Bridge mural process.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We have that in the city manager's office.
I love it. I love public art, so I'm excited.
We'll
Yeah.
be chatting with the Arts Commission about that. Yeah, so stay tuned. Now, prior to the business agenda, on the study session, the council discussed staff's evaluation of the Kraken proposal. Now, that was
Did you have something to do
that
with
was
that,
near
Jen?
and dear to my own heart.
Oh, yeah.
Just had a little something
Just
to
had
do
a
with
little
that.
something to do with that.
Also, utility rates for solid waste water, sewer, and surface water.
And the Public Works Maintenance Center facility plan.
And of course, council meetings are streamed live on the city's YouTube channel, Facebook page, and the website.
So please check it out. It was really an interesting night and very informative night, as always.
Yes.
So join your friends and neighbors, my friends, and volunteer this summer with Green Kirkland. Now, Green Kirkland is our amazing volunteer stewards who help take care of our, hold it, 500 acres
That's a lot.
of natural parkland.
Yes.
500 acres.
Yeah. And I hear that August is a very fun time to volunteer with this group because there's berries and fruits. The blossoms are in full swing.
Love, love, love the berries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some thimbleberries, and so we live right near Jostin Park. There's some thimbleberry bushes there.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Tools, training, and gloves are provided. No prior experience needed. And Green Kirkland Partnership has four upcoming events that you can sign up for.
A lot of opportunity to participate.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Hey, help save a life and enter for a chance to win $3,000 when you donate blood this August. So this must be what you were talking about, David.
Yeah,
With the win big.
$3,000. Win big. Blood Works Northwest will be at Kirkland City Hall on Wednesday, August 28th and 29th. Yeah. And so book your appointment and enter to win.
That's right.
They
Good
make
luck.
it super easy for you too, right here at City Hall, and they
Totally.
always have snacks too.
Oh,
They've got
it's all about the snacks.
Super smooth experience.
Indeed.
So if you were enjoying Seafair weekend at Juanita Beach, you might have seen our newest animal control officer, Angela Arnold.
Yeah, podcast
Yeah.
guest star.
Yeah, she was on the
Yeah.
podcast.
She
Angela was great.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of
Awesome.
fun.
Yeah, so she was out at Juanita Beach to meet our community, answer their questions, and promote our monthly hashtag Kirkland Pet Tags contest.
That's right. And all you have to do to enter this contest is share a photo of your furry friend proudly displaying a pet license tag and use the hashtag Kirkland Pet Tags for a chance to win $50 in Kirkland cash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome opportunity. And so if you were unable to make it or have questions about lost pets, pet licensing, and more, you can also join the text notification service that Angela runs. And more information in the show notes.
Yes, great. So hey, if you love bingo,
Who doesn't?
we have an interesting.
I mean,
we
come on.
have an interesting challenge.
Is that
for
a
you.
retourical question?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a rhetorical question.
Okay. Well, so what we're talking about is the Kirkland Youth Transit Ambassadors have created a bus bingo community
Bus
challenge.
Bingo.
Bus bingo.
right.
So it's a fun video by ambassadors Belle and Eva showing you how easy it is to complete their normal daily activities and scratch off some bingo slots.
Yep. And you can email your completed bingo board to the sustainability ambassadors, and they also invite you to take a selfie on your ride and tag them on social. And if you complete every square on your board, you'll win transportation swag.
Transportation swag.
swag.
I hope it's like a little Metro bus like keychain. That'd be kind of fun.
Okay.
Right? Wouldn't it? Just like a little.
We'll
anyway.
check in on that.
Yeah.
We need to get some Twix swag.
No,
by the way.
Yeah, we're working
we
on it,
do.
Jim. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, there are some nightly closures this weekend on Northeast 85th Street and I-405 interchange. So we want to tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Northeast 85th Street is closed overnight this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's the 9th through 11th. But the road will be open during the day.
Yeah. The hours kind of shift a bit. It's between 10 and 11 p.m. until 4 or 5 a.m. the next morning. You can find all the details on the project webpage.
Yes. So check that webpage out. Get all the good information about a very fluid situation.
Nicely done.
So a couple of upcoming events for you to check out. It sounds like we're having the Kirkland Analog Days, David. What is that?
Yeah. So if you've ever wondered what a floppy disk is, this might be your opportunity. So Kirkland Library on August 24th is hosting an opportunity to see various outdated technology in action. So I'm just thinking of like my old like Apple II GS.
Oh, yeah.
That I used to play like Ultima on.
Yeah.
I got to bring my kids to this. They got
Right?
to see how I
They
grew
have
up.
to see it.
They know the things I'm talking about. They'll get the references.
It's kind of like a
exactly.
combination
There you go.
of history and art.
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Sure.
about that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kinda how I see it.
I love that. I love that.
Another upcoming event is Sea Spot Splash.
Yeah.
Yes. This beloved annual event will be at Peter Kirk Pool on Saturday, September 7th.
Bring your dog to splash and play at Peter Kirk Pool and then head over to the nearby Lee Johnson Field for some off-leash fun. Pre-registration is highly recommended to make sure you get in the time slot.
Yes.
Finally, we also have movies in the park. So this is the last week. It's here this Saturday at Heritage Park. We are showing Brother Bear and The Fablemans.
Ooh.
So
those sound like good
Councilmember
ones.
Falcone.
I love movies in the
Yeah.
park.
You remember back in the day. I think it was during COVID.
I do.
Yeah.
When we just wanted a safe way to gather, we wanted, I've had this vision for years. I mean, I love our parks. Who doesn't love our parks?
Yeah.
Right?
Of just, having a blanket in the grass with my family, watching a movie in the park, and having it be a free event for community. And then COVID hit,
Yeah.
and we couldn't gather, and
Well,
wanted to
hey.
do drive-in movies.
Yeah.
And I was
Right.
like, oh, we need like a big screen to make that happen, right? How are we going to make that happen? I was like, I'm going to show the city staff that we can make this happen.
That's awesome.
So
And we kinda
a
did.
neighbor of mine,
Yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
husband, we put together a drive-in movie up in Finn Hill and invited Jim and some
Yeah.
others to come on up and see what we did. And we're like, see, we can make it happen. People want to do this. And then
did a wonderful
next
job.
thing you know, we had
Yeah.
our own awesome huge
Jumbotron.
Jumbotron screen that's not only great for movies in the park, but we have it for so many events.
Yeah.
We've had it for
Yeah.
bingo events, for just things throughout the city, and it's just a really awesome thing. And
Now there was food that night too, wasn't
there
there?
was food that night.
I'm
Yeah, so
remembering.
we
We were
wanted to make sure
ordering-
we were supporting our small businesses that were really struggling
Yeah.
through the pandemic, and so we had the option when folks registered to pre-purchase meals from local restaurants, and we went and picked it up and provided
Yeah.
that for attendees too. So it was
Oh, wow.
a total win-win. It
So
was a
the
fun event.
precursor, ladies and gentlemen, to movies in the park.
Wow.
It happened as an organic
Councilmember Falcone.
Councilmember
There you
Falcone
go.
and Angela, and
And here we are.
here we are.
That's
4 years
awesome.
later.
Yeah, you can see Brother Bear.
So this
It's awesome. Coming out.
this is a great transition to our 5 over 5.
Hey.
That would be 5 questions in what is absolutely certain to be over 5 minutes with our special guest. Welcome, Councilmember Falcone.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
This is fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're having a lot of fun. So we're, as you know, we are having council members on because in part we want to promote the Meet the Council video series.
Yeah,
And there
absolutely.
is a Meet the Council video publishing today on you. It was a lot of fun to watch. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, tell us, how did you come to the city of Kirkland?
That's a good question. Well, we moved here. We just had our 10-year move anniversary, if that's a thing.
Anniversary.
Moving to the city of Kirkland.
That could become a thing.
What is that?
Anniversary.
Is that the
A new
10 anniversary?
I
The
know,
10
right?
No, or
we need
is
to do
it-
something to celebrate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We actually are going out to dinner tonight.
Hey,
so.
all right. Well, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. So we moved here for my husband's work. We moved to the region, and we were just in, temporary housing. Didn't really know what city we wanted to move to
Yeah.
yet. Just kind of hanging out. And I had 2 kids at the time, so we were just. It was summertime. We were checking out different parks in the area.
Oh, summertime.
And one
Kirkland.
summer we landed in downtown Kirkland. We were at Peter Kirk Park, and I remember us getting gelato on Park Lane and walking to Marina Park, and
Nice.
the beautiful views of the lake. And then we walked back to Peter Kirk Park. My kids were playing on the playground, and I remember calling my husband at work, and I was like, Kirkland is our new hometown. This is where we've got to live. We fell in love with Kirkland that day, and the rest is
The
history.
rest is history. So
This
where
is
were you
home.
coming from?
We were coming from the East Coast, so we moved here from just outside D.C. I'm Philly born and raised, but after
Really?
college, we
Oh,
lived
wow.
in
You lived in Washington,
just outside
D.C.?
D.C.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I was
Yeah,
just there.
Fairfax, Virginia.
I don't know how you dealt with the humidity.
It was humidity, traffic,
Yeah.
It is.
but it's a great town too.
It's
So much
lovely.
happening.
Yeah, it
a
was.
lot of history.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well.
a great story. And yeah, I think we got you.
Yes.
Summertime
You're
Kirkland.
There it is. Well, happy move anniversary.
Why, thank you.
This is how we capture the
Yes.
rest of the
The
country.
parks.
With the parks. Okay, so what's something, you've talked a lot about several things, but what's something you'd like to call out that you love about Kirkland?
I love so many things about Kirkland. Everyone always says their parks, and yes, that's what made me fall in love with Kirkland.
Yeah.
But what really drew me in is the sense of community here. I remember our first summer here, pitching right in, volunteering for the July 4th parade. I remember being at, you mentioned this in your podcast with Councilmember Sweet, being at the Grape Choice, and
Yes.
my daughter and I blowing up, beach balls for the kids parade, and just meeting so many great people. And we're sold. This is awesome. Like there's
Awesome.
such a sense of community, and that just grew over the years, engaging more and more in
Yeah.
the community. And gosh, when I first was brand new on council is when COVID hit, right? And we were the
Oh, yeah.
epicenter of the
Oh,
pandemic for the whole country. And seeing the community come together in that moment was amazing.
Yes.
I mean, it's just the sense of community. We can have our disagreements. We can, have different visions for, directions or policy we want to take. But when it comes down to it, the people of Kirkland are amazing. They
Yes.
support each other when it really matters. And it's really beautiful to see in the fun times too with our celebrations,
Yeah.
but when it really matters.
Yeah.
I was
Community's awesome.
reflecting a little bit on that as you were talking about National Night Out.
Yeah.
That's one of the areas where I think it kind of manifests. We come out as neighbors and we
Yeah.
celebrate together, and we do have that as a common theme too, the connectedness of our community. and
We
the
really
caring.
do. Yeah.
Okay,
Great community.
so let's talk a little bit about what it's like to be on city council. I have said this before on our podcast. You have a really great origin story.
For how I joined council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It's never something I envisioned for myself. I never thought I'd want to run for public office or even get engaged with local government. Before moving here, I worked a lot with federal government, but I never thought, that this is something I wanted to do. But when we moved here, I had a daughter about to start kindergarten, and, we didn't have any sidewalks or anything. We lived about a mile from the school. And I remember calling saying, hey, when's what bus route are we? School bus to get to the school. And they're like, no, you need to walk to school. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. We don't have a safe way to walk to school.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to get engaged in local government. So I emailed our local city council at the time and said, hey, I'm a stay-at-home mom up in the Finn Hill neighborhood. I have some concerns about our school walk route safety. I'd love to invite you to walk along with us with my kids. I had a baby in the stroller at the time, and I mean there were times when city buses would be coming by and we had to like jump into the yard, just so we could keep the kids safe. And it was amazing. Most of the council members walked with us on various times throughout that year.
Wow.
The head of public works walked with us, and just engaging with both the elected officials and city staff. I mean, we have amazing city staff, of course. And they got stuff done. I mean, I was effective at getting, and within a few weeks, we had a pathway paid for my kids to walk on, not just my kids, but all the kids in the community. And it was so empowering to be able to advocate for kids in the community.
So you take action.
I
right?
do.
And you see the response.
Yep.
People come out, you see things happening.
Yeah. And
Bravo, council. And then what happens? You say, well, you know what? This kind of works.
yeah, I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. I can just speak up and get stuff done in my
Get
local
something done.
community. It was a lot easier than, the advocacy in the federal government that took years and years and years for one little change to happen.
You work for the federal government, right?
I used to contract with the federal government. I was a social scientist, so I worked as a survey methodologist expert for the U.S. Army Research Institute. I worked, on various social science things for the Department of Defense and for FEMA, like we were talking about earlier, and SAMHSA and some other federal agencies.
So you had some government experience.
I had some government experience, but a totally different level
Different
of government.
level.
Federal and state, I mean, totally different creatures.
So you see the reaction, you see real change happening.
Yeah.
Right? And then what happens?
Then I'm like, well, I want to do more.
Yeah.
I want to be even more engaged. So I created a legislative advocacy position for myself on our local PTA. I joined the Finn Hill Neighborhood Alliance. I was a founding member of the Human Services Commission. I joined the Neighborhood Safety Panel to get even more, hyper local safety improvements.
Those are improvements to like sidewalks and
crosswalks, things like that. Yeah. And it was great. And then the more I volunteered, the more I wanted to give to the community and serve the community. And it's just the great honor of my life to get to serve on city council. And
then you made
all
the
that's
big
brought
jump
me here today.
Right?
I did.
You're right to the head. Now, Councilmember Falcone, you and all the council, the mayor talked a lot about this on her podcast, supporting the Kirkland Initiative, our program that helps inspire folks to come and join boards and commissions and perhaps even become a council member someday. It's kind of like you're a living example of that path.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think it should work. Our elected officials should be representative of the people in the community. And I thought it was really important to see a mom in the midst of raising kids, who's in the thick of it, of what so many of our families are facing in our community, be represented on local government. So yeah, I'm really proud of the Kirkland Initiative. There's so much work that we're doing to try this series, and others that just try to break down the barriers to engagement in local government, all the way up and including to serving on city council, because we really do want anyone who has any interest in local government, reach out to us. There's always something you can volunteer, something you can join, even if it's just a conversation with us. We're always happy to meet with you.
Yes.
It's really important.
One of the things that kind of stood out for me in your Meet the Council video, obviously you talked about your family. It was very charming. You talked about how you love to learn.
I do. There's so many fascinating things I never thought that I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
But you experience them as a council member.
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, last night we were talking about utility rates, right?
Yes.
Like that's not something I thought that I'd want to roll up my sleeve and dig into. But there are so many things that not only are they really important because they impact the everyday lives of our community members, but they're actually really interesting.
Yes.
I mean, it's fascinating and so cool that we get to learn so much. It's a lot of work being a council member, but it's also really satisfying and really, not only the learning, but meeting people, getting to know people, learning more about people and their lived experience and what they're going through and how we can help make their lives better. It's a pretty special thing to get to do.
And you referenced the surface water in the video.
Yeah.
Which, we just published the annual report, I think, and that one,
Yes,
all sorts of
that's one of
information there.
many cool things that we're
So
doing in the
cool.
city that not everybody thinks about, but it's really important.
It's a really important message, and we will shameless promotion. We will put a link to sign up to the Kirkland Initiative in the show notes because I do think we have a robust application list, but we still have some spots left, and the classes do start in September. And it is Councilmember Falcone noted, it's a wonderful way to get involved in government and learn. And part of the message, I think, and one of the things I found that you conveyed in the Meet the Council video was bring your your values, your good intentions, and your desire to work hard and learn. But staff is here to answer those questions. You can do this.
You don't have to be an expert on utility rates and surface water management. Like, you don't have to. All you have to know is your life experience as a resident in our city. That's literally the only qualification, right?
Yes.
And it's not the only way to get involved too, right? Like, we want people to be able to get involved in any way. I mean, there's the Kirkland Initiative. There's different boards and commissions. There's just engaging in any way, showing up at a meeting, right? Like, and another barrier we've been breaking down is, as a mom to 3 young kids, I'm very familiar with needing childcare to be able to attend meetings and participate in meetings. So we've been working on multiple fronts for childcare initiatives in our city, for serving on boards and commissions, for our staff, for our council, to serve on council, and also for some of our big events, right? That no longer needs to be an issue for folks. So more to come on that. And I got to say, Jim, I mean, I could not do this work without my amazingly supportive partner, my husband, John. I mean, he's literally at swim lessons with the kids right now, so I could be here for this podcast. He's amazing. So thank you, John. Love you.
It allows you to be everywhere.
It really does. He's very supportive. I appreciate him.
Wonderful. So we have so many things we could talk about as in your interest. And I know you've been a great champion of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and constantly reminding us to live our values as a belonging city. And you have been so active in so many things, from the school district all through the transportation stuff that you've talked about. So there's a wide array of interests. But one that I wanted to chat with you about, because we had so much fun, is the Junior League Softball World
Yes,
Series.
that was awesome.
Now, you sit on the Tourism Development Committee now,
I do,
right?
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair.
I love it.
And we gave like $10,000 to that event.
Yes, I am so excited that we've been hosting the Junior Softball World Series since 1999 in the city of Kirkland. The city, through the Tourism Development Committee, continues to support them, and there's other ways that we support them as well. We're thrilled that they host this tournament in Kirkland and are looking forward to many, many more years of hosting this tournament.
Wow.
I mean, it's always been special, right? Like, I think sports, girl sports in particular, I'm so there for that. But women's and girls sports are just so popular right now, and for very good reason. I mean, we're seeing it highlighted on the national and international stage in so many sporting events, just how amazing our female athletes are throughout the world.
And you were out there throwing a first pitch.
I got to throw first pitch again this year, which is just such an honor. I mean, that's one of my favorite things I get to do.
And we had the team last night.
We did. We invited the Kirkland the Kirkland softball team, which is a combination of Kirkland American Little League and Kirkland National Little League girl athletes. I think it's between the ages of 12 and 14.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic group of girl athletes, and they worked so hard. They made the World Series this year and made Kirkland so proud. I mean, they were amazing, and they made like the final 8, at the end of the tournament, which was pretty special.
They
to go
almost
and watch
made
them.
it to the Final Four.
They almost did.
I
mean, it was a close game.
We were out there.
We were screaming. I lost my voice.
And so many of the council members were there.
So many council members.
Mayor,
it was
the
really
deputy
fun.
mayor,
We have
so
a
many.
great council. I
Yeah, we
love
really
my
do.
council colleagues. I
Yes,
love serving
we did.
alongside them. And we had a lot of
We had a lot
fun
of fun.
cheering those girls on.
That's
So
amazing.
congratulations to
They
them.
were winning, and then that last hit, I thought it was gonna. Anyway, can't go
You know
into
what,
it.
though? Good test of sportsmanship is they not just are good winners, but good when they lose as well. They were just these girl athletes. I mean, they were just such good sports.
It is so true.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have one last question for you.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite book, movie, show, podcast, soundtrack? What are you listening to, watching? Media consumption these days.
So many things.
So many things. Pick
Where do I
one.
start? Where do I start?
But very relevant to what we were just talking about. In the Falcone household, the Olympics has been online the past couple weeks.
Heck
There has
yeah.
been so much fun stuff to watch, and we love to watch it all. I mean, whether it's we just think are like really like funny things that we're like, why is that in the Olympics? Or like whether it's
Totally.
like old time favorites. And there are the women athletes this year are just
crushing it.
Amazing.
totally rocking it. It
Yes.
is amazing to see. I mean, my favorite is the women's gymnastics. And
Yes.
so just seeing not only how their Simone Biles and others are just bringing it to the
New level.
a whole new
new
level
level.
of
Absolutely.
competition and difficulty, but also just doing it with such grace. Really highlighting the importance of self-care and resilience, and also just sportsmanship, praising one another, whether you're on the same team or not. I mean, the support they've shown each other and on the whole world stage is just phenomenal. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
And my daughter and I really enjoyed watching.
Oh, that's wonderful.
watching that.
Those are
Awesome.
memories you keep forever.
Yeah.
I
You should
remember when
always
I was a wee
remember
lad.
Simone Biles back at
You think back on the heroes of the Olympics.
Yep.
It's
That's
just
right.
wonderful.
That's
Okay, well, great
amazing.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Councilmember Falcone. Will you stick around for our pop quiz multiple choice trivia?
Of course.
As David noted, we heard you're a fan of surface water. It's one of the things you mentioned in the
Oh no.
in your Meet the Council video.
Yeah.
Keep me honest.
So get ready. Get your calculators out, everybody. No. Okay, well, one of these answers is pure and clean, while the others smell a little funny. Which, of course, means we just made them up.
Ah,
Yeah.
in reference to standing water there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like your little corny references each week.
I'm glad. Oh, you're the one.
It is one of my
That's good.
superpowers.
I am.
It is one of my superpowers.
dad
Corny,
humor. I like
yes. Dad humor, yes. Okay, so option A. Kirkland receives more than 40 inches of precipitation a year.
Okay. 40 inches.
40 inches.
A little over 3 feet.
Wow. Option B, the famous Roman aqueducts constructed around the 1st century were completely decommissioned during the Renaissance era as Rome and Europe built a new network for water supply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Getting with the ages.
B.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a
Getting
long
with the
time
times.
ago. Okay.
Option C, it is a well-known fact that dogs are drawn to storm drains and enjoy sniffing them, walking on the grate, and listening to the sounds that they make.
Yeah.
They're very sensory
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be dog dependent. I'm not sure.
Option C, dogs and storm grates.
Our friends.
Storm drains. Yeah. So let's think about that a minute.
All right. Well, I think option C is sticking with our trend of being the throwaway.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm
I
with
agree.
Councilor Falcone. I'm not sure that dogs like storm drains.
Yeah.
40 inches? I don't know.
Yeah,
Seems a
I
little
really
low.
don't know.
I don't actually have a good scale for what
Yeah.
that means.
It's like
so-
I feel like I should know this.
I know.
But I'm going to go with A because I think it kind of sounds right.
It's
Okay.
like, it feels,
Okay.
it's a nice round number.
Yeah.
And the answer, my friends, is
Option A?
option A.
Ah,
hey,
nice.
all right.
See, people of Kirkland, your council members are very well educated.
Very well
on this topic.
educated. Very well educated. Like other communities in our region, Kirkland depends on an abundant rainfall to restore our aquifers and keep our lakes and streams healthy. When pollutants enter our stormwater system, the results have lasting effects on the
Yeah.
health and safety of both our human and animal residents. Only water should go down the storm drain, everybody.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
Only rain down the drain. And did you know? So, regarding those aqueducts, there are still functioning ancient Roman aqueducts today. That is good,
Romans, brilliant.
Wow.
some good engineering, folks.
Those are some engineers.
In fact, the
They don't make
aqua.
it like they used to.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not out of marble or whatever. They probably didn't make the aqueducts out of marble. That would have been pretty expensive. And
But they made them well.
they made
And that
them
is the
well.
point.
Yeah, okay. The Aqua Virgo aqueduct, as it turns out, constructed in 19 BCE, still supplies water to Rome's famous Trevi fountain.
Yes. And David and I, everybody, have a shared experience with our lovely puppies. My Gracie is deceased.
Sorry.
But we have a shared experience of puppies and storm drains.
Yeah,
They
this
don't
morning,
like
in
that.
fact, Haku almost took me out on our morning walk by vociferously trying to avoid a storm drain, like, and getting all fumbled in my legs.
It is unbelievable. My Gracie, she would walk to the other side of the street. Like, she had a bad experience with a drain because it made a loud noise. I'm telling you, she never walked near that thing.
I mean, I don't either, but that's just because I didn't want Pennywise to get me. Whole different story.
Fair. That is fair.
Yeah, that is. That is.
So we took an editor's privilege with option C, and we
Yeah.
just wanted to make the point on our beloved dogs. For our beloved
you
dogs.
go.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Falcone. This was big fun.
Thank you. This
Yeah.
was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
thanks for coming
Yes.
on.
Yes.
I love it. I love listening to you all too every week.
Don't forget to check out Outdoor Movie Series this Saturday. Last
Yes.
one of the season.
Last one. Check it out.
And don't forget to make a blood donation as well.
Yes.
Get your appointments in.
Yes.
Indeed.
And that does it for this week, my friends. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Anthony Girardi, Chris Peterson, and Victor Durantes for their behind-the-scenes magic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next episode is August 15th. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.